Hi, everybody. I want to introduce myself as well. So I'm Steve Padovano. I'm the faculty advisor to the Wildcat Fund as well as VFG. And the whole concept of VFG is to create a four-year club, something where you can either get very specific with some of the more senior and junior societies, or you can just want to be more involved and listen to speakers and see a variety of different things. So this is really the first year of the existence of VFG. And so we're really excited about it. We've got some great events planned. And the best thing I can tell you is use this opportunity as freshmen to just get exposed, to figure out what you want to do and maybe even just what type of major you want to have. You may not be sure if you want to be a finance major or not, and that's fine. But you know, the more you get exposed to the markets and potential career paths, it could hopefully lead you down the right path when you make that major decision in your sophomore year. So the Steve Schwartzman event is a must-see. So hopefully everyone can go to that. And for those of you who don't know who he is, he created a company called the Blackstone Group, which is one of the largest financial institutions in the world. He's just an incredible businessman. So we're very fortunate to have him come in. So that could be one of the first things you guys all do. And that will give you an idea of some of the things that VFG is going to provide. In addition, I think it's important as some of the other business leaders like Caitlin Delaney and Robbie Hill and the rest of them talk about some of those next steps. The concept of VFG is really to give you a taste of a little bits of these, so that when you become a little more knowledgeable about things, you can make the right decision as to where you really want to focus your time. Because the one thing I would tell you is there is incredibly high correlation between those students that are very active and that participate in these clubs and continue that through their 4 years, and those that get really high quality jobs. Because the one thing you'll learn is, you know, we go to classes and we learn about things, but some of the real world experiences of actually managing money within the Wildcat Fund or the real estate fund, or doing a case study within the M&A Society, some of those things become incredibly important when you go for those internships and those job searches. Some things that the classes can't really give you. So I want to welcome you all to Villanova. I'm a Villanova grad myself, so I graduated in '89. So I'm thrilled to be back and helping out. And any questions, please feel free to reach out to me.
Awesome. Sounds good. So now we're going to go into our sub-society kind of overviews, and they're just going to walk you through, hey, here's what we do, here's how we do it. And first is going to be the Wildcat Fund, and I'm going to hand it over to Caitlin Delaney.
Hi, everyone. My name is Caitlin Delaney, and I am the president of the Villanova Wildcat Fund. We are a student-managed equity investment fund. So we have about $1.2 million of assets under management currently, give or take, given the market conditions of the day. And we have a team of over 30 students, mostly sophomores and above, that are managing our investment fund right now. We cover 11 different sectors, and each sector has their own portfolio manager. So tonight you'll get the opportunity to hear from each of our portfolio managers of our different sectors to kind of give you a taste of what you might be interested in as you go into your sophomore year, your junior year, and your senior year. If you want to go to the next slide, Andrew. So this is kind of the path for you guys to follow over your 4 years. So freshmen will get involved with VFG, and then we'll kind of get a taste of the Wildcat Fund there as we come in and do some teach-ins. And then as a sophomore in the fall semester, we're just getting started with this. So we'll have 2 to 3 sector rotations where you get kind of, you know, shadow into some of our different groups, get to, you know, hear how they look at different equities, what they have in their portfolio currently. And then in addition, we'll do some educational training sessions with some professional development development in there so we get you ready for those internships. And then in the spring, you'll have the opportunity to become a full analyst within the fund and really get some more hands-on experience. In your junior year, you'll continue to be a full analyst. And then in the spring, you'll be able to join our student managed funds class, which all of our PMs are in right now. It's a really great experience with Jerome Heppelman is our professor for that, and he used to be in asset management, so he brings a lot of great experience to the table and helps us manage the fund actively. So now we'll move on to hear from each of our PMs about their sectors. So I think we're starting off with comm services, so I'll give it back to Andrew.
Yep. Hi guys, I'm Andrew today. Like I said, I'm a senior finance and accounting major. I'm the portfolio manager for the communication services sector. So what that just means is it's kind of just your hardware and the medium at which your technology flows. So there's two sub-industries is what we call them. So they're media and entertainment and telecommunication services. All that means telecom is just any phone provider, and then media and entertainment. Just think of anybody who provides content or entertainment options. So like a Disney or a Viacom or someone like that. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to the next PM. Dr. Caitlin.
Yeah, so back to me. Hi guys again. I am the portfolio manager for the consumer discretionary sector. So think of any company where you spend money on goods where you really don't have to, or goods or services. So we are focused on 4 big areas. Autos, so our big focus there is obviously Tesla. Durables and apparel, so all the brands that you might wear, like Nike or Lululemon. Services, they've kind of been hit hard recently, but you think of like hotels, restaurants, cruise lines, and then retailing, with the big focus there being Amazon. So this is a really interesting sector, as you get to kind of invest in companies and brands that you get to see every day. So now I'm going to pass it off to, I think, Ben with consumer staples.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
You're good.
Cool. All right. So similar to Caitlin, consumer staples is companies you're familiar with and you likely purchase from either directly or not. And the only difference is, instead of it being discretionary, consumer staples are companies that, despite where the economy is at, despite how much money people have, they're going to continue to buy these products. So you can think of food and staple retail and grocery stores. You can think of the companies that are actually producing the food and so on. And then also beverages, household products, personal products. And our current holdings right now are Constellation Brands, Cisco, and Tyson. This isn't quite updated. We've sold out of Tyson and we've moved to the Sprouts Farmers Market. And then I will pass it on. I'm not sure who's next, but back to Caitlin.
I think Liz is up next.
Hi guys, I'm Liz Ford. I'm a senior finance major. I'm the PM for the energy sector. So basically when you think of energy, it can get a little confusing, but how I generally think of it to make it a little bit more applicable is anything related to oil and gas. So, I mean, I know when I drive, I go to the gas station probably like once a week, and those gas stations have a whole supply chain. And so when you think of energy companies, just think of the supply chain of the gas stations that you go to. So these are a few of our biggest holdings right now. We're looking to make some changes just because of how crazy demand and supply have been due to COVID. So we use a model on top of sort of just looking at balance sheet just to make sure that these companies are not too levered. But yeah, so that's the energy sector.
Hey guys, my name is Henry and I'm a senior major in finance and business analytics, and I am the PM for the financial sector. And this is pretty much everything from banks, diversified financials companies, to insurance. And it's certainly been an interesting year with everything that they've been doing, and how low interest rates are. So we're seeing a lot of changes in that. And it's also cool because while we hold big companies like JP Morgan and Bank of America you've all heard of, we also own a company called Trupanion, which is pet insurance. It's been kind of our big winner lately. So we still do have some different things and stuff we can find in fintech. So it's pretty interesting.
So Alex was unable to make it tonight, so I'll kind of cover the healthcare sector. So the healthcare sector is actually run by Alex, and he manages 4 different sectors. So one of the things that they're doing right now is they're actually trimming their names down to kind of concentrate on some of their big winners and their big ideas like Intuitive Surgical, CVS, United Health, some of the biggest names in healthcare and pharmaceuticals. One of the really cool things about the healthcare fund is they actually donate a portion of their proceeds to cancer research. So the healthcare fund is the Drew O'Donoghue Healthcare Fund. And Drew was a student at Villanova who unfortunately passed away from cancer a few years back. So we actively focus on names that invest in cancer, and we also try to give back to the charity that is the Drew O'Donoghue Healthcare charity. So we're really focused on that. As well, we also present to his family each semester, so you really get that connection there with the donors too. So it's a really unique experience as well if you're interested in the healthcare space.
Hi everyone, my name is Michael Bowen. I'm a senior finance and business analytics co-major, and I'm the portfolio manager for the industrial sector. And we're basically broken down into 3 different groups. We have capital goods. So those are a lot of like industrial conglomerates that you may not have heard of, like Honeywell. And then we also have commercial and professional services like waste management, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard of, along with some data analytics companies like IHS Markit. And then also we have transportation, which I'm sure you definitely have heard of, and they've really taken a beating over the past couple months with COVID, of course. So, you know, we're still, we have some high conviction in some of the more cheaper airlines like Southwest and Ryanair, but yeah, it's a great industry to be in. So, but with that, I'll pass it back over to Rohan.
Hey again, everyone. I'm Rohan. I'm one of the PMs for the tech sector. And I'd say the best part about the tech sector in general would just be that the companies are really tangible and interesting. You hear about them every day. You use their products. You see it on the news. They're really high growth companies, at least a lot of them are. And so that's very exciting to learn about. It's been interesting over the past 5-6 months, I'd say, just because these companies have been the ones that have enabled us to work from home, learn from home, go to a store and pay contactless, exercise from home even, buy new devices. So it's a really interesting sector, and it makes up about almost 1/3 of our benchmark as a fund. And so between the software companies, the semiconductors, Intel, and Apple, of course, it's a really interesting thing to learn about and be part of.
What's up, everyone? I'm the portfolio manager for materials. I'm Luke Brinkman, and I'm a senior finance major. So we have the 5 sub-industries right here: chemicals, metals and mining, containers and packaging, paper and forest products, construction materials. It's a pretty straightforward industry, definitely not as high growth as tech. It's pretty mature, very cyclical, but it's just companies that are harvesting raw materials from the environment. So naturally, regulation is going to play a big part here, and the supply and demand dynamics from everything, just like gold, silver, copper, everything like that. So if you're interested in any of those things, definitely shoot me an email, and always feel free to reach out.
Thanks, Luke. My name is Mike Stephanie, and I'm a senior finance and real estate major. I'm currently running the portfolio for the Wildcat Fund real estate sector, and we cover REITs, which are real estate investment trusts. Right now, our current holdings are Prologis, which is industrial warehouse REIT. So think e-commerce players like Amazon and Walmart that need last mile storage before they can ship you a delivery. And then in terms of storage, right now we're in Americold, which is cold food storage for food retailers, grocery stores, Whole Foods, Sprouts Farmers Market. And then we're also in National Storage Affiliates and Public Storage, which are your traditional self-storage warehouse locations around the country. And some themes and considerations that we're discussing in our meetings right now are e-commerce growth and that impact on warehouse logistics, co-working impact on commercial real estate, and then the recovery of lodging and mall real estate post-COVID. So please reach out if you have any questions, and without further, pass on to the next PM here.
Hi guys, I'm back. I'm the co-PM with Andrew Putt for the utility sector. So when you think of utilities, just think of when you turn on the shower, either Villanova or your parents, if you're at home, have to pay the utilities for the water that you're using. One of the utilities companies that we own right now is Essential Utilities, which recently went through a merger with Aqua. So if you see there's a bunch of Aqua buildings, there's one in Bryn Mawr, actually. That's one of the companies that we own.
Great.
Hi,
So
everyone.
Sorry, I was on mute. Get Robbie.
Hi, guys. Super excited to be here. My name is Robbie Hill. I'm the co-president of the Mergers and Acquisition Society. And kind of a nice little loop in from Liz is, as she said, her company Essential just been acquired or just acquired Aqua. That's what our society focuses on. I'm a senior finance and minors with accounting and economics. And you can go to the next slide. I'm the co-president, but Sean is preparing for a meeting this afternoon shortly after this. But so as the Wildcat Fund mentioned, they're kind of outlined for the year where you have your freshman training, and as Rohan and Andrew mentioned as well too, we'll have kind of M&A focused trainings where we look into DCFs, into valuation methodologies, and et cetera. And then your sophomore year, you really kind of focus in more on something that you'd be interested in, and we go through a little bit more in depth on what exactly investment banking is, what does the career look like, what does your job look like, what does your day-to-day look like, and also kind of start preparing you for interviews. And then at the end of the fall semester of your sophomore year, you would apply to our investment banking workshop. And that is kind of our intensive program that prepares you for interviews and kind of reviews some of the technical aspects of the interviews, and as well as the behaviorals. And part of being kind of in the workshop is you also get applied or you get paired with a mentor that works in the industry. So two of my mentors I still keep in touch with today, and they're really valuable resources. And then lastly, your junior and senior year, you kind of still try to stay involved with the club as much as you can and as much as you want, really. It's all about kind of being able to mentor younger students and helping them get through those interview processes as well. And yeah, so we can go to the next slide as well. So these are some of our topics that we cover typically during our sophomore first semester, and some of these we'll also cover with you guys, but kind of a basic intro to investment banking, analyzing financial statements, what does a free cash flow look like, why is EBITDA a good proxy for that, more valuation methodologies. And this is all kind of really probably new stuff for you guys. I didn't know what a balance sheet was when I came into school. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So definitely be able to kind of take as much as you in. And as Steve said, you put it very well, use this as opportunity to get exposure to a wide variety of industries, jobs, and really take it as an expunge and try to get exposure to some of the real world stuff, because the school really doesn't get you to have kind of the hands-on experience as well too. And then kind of our last slide is some of the events and some of the placement that we've had in the past. You know, in previous years, we've visited the Goldman Sachs office. We've had a case study with Nomura. We're working on with Barclays as well as Bank of America. And, you know, we have great access to a bunch of alumni, and, you know, we're super excited. If you have any questions, I'll drop my email and the account email in the chat. But yeah, thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm Gabby.
So next is
I'm
going to be
sorry.
Gabby. Sorry,
I'm
go ahead,
Gabby.
Gabby. No, go ahead.
I'm a junior finance and real estate major at Villanova. I've recently been named the president of the Real Estate Society, so I'm really excited for all the great things we have this semester. First off, I want to start with why real estate. It's universal, meaning everyone has contact with real estate. Everyone's going to have to buy a home. Everyone's probably living in an apartment or a dorm right now. It's dynamic, meaning that the restaurants you eat in, the stores you shop in, the skyscrapers in the city, the buildings you go to class in, it's pretty much everywhere. And the skills you'll learn in this society are very transferable, meaning working with people, you could transfer those skill sets to any sort of business that you end up doing. So it's not you come in here and you have to do real estate. You come in here to learn, you soak in everything like a sponge, and we really look forward to watching you grow. You can go to the next slide. About us, we're student run with faculty advisors. We focus on networking specifically with industry professionals. whereas the DATOM is our private equity student real estate fund, which is more developing the skill sets. We're just trying to get you out there. A huge part of real estate is networking, and that's what we're here for. We also work very closely with the DeLella Center and look forward to bringing you more opportunities and seeing where you can get more involved. Next slide. What we do, we usually go on real estate treks. We've gone to the New York City area, the Philadelphia area, and the DC area, and you'll visit buildings, you'll meet with professionals, but obviously now that everything's more online, and it'll be virtual this semester, but it'll definitely be something worth going to. Networking opportunities. We work with Jess Taylor and the DeLella Center, and we're constantly getting more opportunities of Villanova alum who are looking to give back, who work in real estate, who are just willing to answer any phone calls, any questions you have. And we also do speaker events. Speaking of speaker events, Steve Schwartzman, definitely go. He's awesome. I read his book twice, and I'll probably read it a third time. And then next slide. Upcoming events this semester, we're doing a real estate micro mentoring series, which is 3 45-minute sessions. You don't have to go, but they're highly recommended that you do go. It's more focused on networking with smaller professionals, meaning you'll be in breakout rooms, you'll be able to develop connections that you could work upon further in the future. And it's just to get more of a 360-degree view of how real estate works. You don't have to do an event that you go into as a career. It's just to sort of get your feet wet, to understand what real estate's like. Another thing we do is real estate field experiences, where you're paired with the Villanova mentor. They'll kind of walk you through what they do in their industry corner specifically. And then at the end, you'll have a deliverable, which you'll go work with the DeLella Center on that. And it's just a great way to learn more about the field, learn how dynamic it is. And on September 22nd, we will be hosting a virtual real estate career conference from 6 to 8, and you can register for that on Handshake. Next. And then if you want to contact us, I'm always excited to answer any questions. You could email me, gtori@villanova.edu. Professor Davidson is a great real estate professor at Villanova. He's also willing to answer any questions you have. And with the DeLella Center, Jessica Taylor, she's awesome. She'll always be talking to us as well, and you can email her too. Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Kyle Keenan. I'm a senior here at Villanova. I'm a finance and real estate major, and I'm actually one of the 3 managers on the Daniel DeLella and Tom Mulroy Real Estate Student Managed Fund. So a little bit about us. It is the nation's first and only student managed real estate fund where students will have the opportunity to invest in real tangible assets. We're responsible for deal flow. So we find the deals, we reach out to alumni oftentimes. We then underwrite the deal, check assumptions within their own underwriting, and then we assess the financial health of the property and the project moving forward. We assess our own returns. We have $650,000 under management, and we usually invest in a LP capacity, a limited partner capacity, between $25,000 and $50,000 in equity. However, we've had talks of actually increasing that to up to about $100,000. So just real quick, since it is the only student managed real estate fund in the country, it's an extremely unique opportunity for anyone who is moving forward within the real estate program to really be able to tackle hands-on, real world with real money objectives and go through real deals and really learn about the whole deal process. As a second semester sophomore, you'll have an opportunity to become an intern and actually sit in on the meetings, and then you'll probably be delegated work by many of our analysts. And then junior year, you will be able to become an analyst on the fund, and finally senior year, a few of you might become managers. These meetings are fantastic for learning. And I was talking about experiences. Since we opened in 2019, we've actually had the opportunity, one of our business fellows that works with us has its own jet. So when we were looking at a property in San Antonio, there on the left, they actually flew out our managers to San Antonio to spend the weekend down there, tour the property, meet with brokers, meet with the people that brought us the deal. And then there's another trek on the right of something that we did down in Philadelphia. And I also want to touch back on the Real Estate Society. Gabby did a great job. One of the specific treks that we went on, we actually had the opportunity to go and tour the now completed One Vanderbilt building with the project manager, and we met the CEO of the company, and we went up 60 floors high, eye and eye with, the Empire State Building, and on an open catwalk, and just another great experience. So all in all, the real estate program here just started offering a full real estate major. So you can now major in that completely. It used to be a co-major. And you'll have many opportunities brought to you by the society, the investment academy, and then the student managed fund. Thanks for your time.
Hi guys,
And
I'm
Liz is going to discuss.
Sorry, Andrew. Hi guys, I'm Liz. Again, I'm a senior finance and real estate major. Andrew, you can go to the next slide. I'm the president of SWIFT. So basically what SWIFT is it's our women in finance group. It's basically an added support for all of the women that enter VFG. You'll be a part of SWIFT as well. A few of the things that we do, something we've been doing since my freshman year before SWIFT was even fully created is coffee and current events. So basically in the morning at some point we'll order, when it wasn't virtual, we would order coffee and have some breakfast, and we'd sit around and we have two advisors, Dr. Shelley Houghton and Caitlin Danhauser, and one of them would run a session. So some of our upcoming topics of these sessions include the presidential election and the stimulus from the Fed. So those are two very relevant topics in the markets right now, and it will be a great opportunity to hear from people who know a lot about it. Something else we did this past spring, we had our first Women in Finance conference. There was two panels of alumni, some more junior women who have more recently entered the workforce, and then some more senior women who are very high up in their respective firms, and they were able to give us great advice. And then we had a networking session afterwards. So I know a lot of the connections that the women made there were able to help them get internships for this summer or next summer. We also do Women in Finance treks to New York. So we've gone to Goldman, MUFG, Bank of America, and a few other places. This spring, Michelle and I were actually trying to plan one for this fall, but unfortunately, COVID just continues to take away some of these experiences, but we're going to try to make the most out of it regardless. And something new that we're actually putting together is a mentorship program. So as a freshman and a sophomore, you will be paired with a pod of seniors, and then a few alumni, whether that be two recent and then two more senior alumni. And that way you're going to stay with that pod. So our whole view of this is that as the seniors graduate, they will then become some of the alumni in the pod. So this pod will continue to grow, and you'll be able to have resources in not only necessarily one part of finance, but a bunch of different parts of finance, which will be great. So that's something new that's on the agenda now. And Andrew, if you can just go to the next slide. So here are our two contact people. So myself, you feel free to reach out to me, text me, email me, whatever you need. I'm happy to help in any way. If you guys don't really know what you're interested in and have some questions from tonight, feel free to contact me. And Carrie's also on the call. So Carrie, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, I'm Carrie. Just want to introduce myself and definitely echo what Liz was saying. If you have any questions or anything, we're so excited to meet you and just want to help out.
And that's it from SWIFT. So if you guys, again, if you have any questions or just want to get to know us, feel free to text or email us.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. So as we've heard from a lot of societies tonight. So here's a QR code that you can show interest in any of these societies, and especially if you're a freshman, you'll be joining VFG. But all in all, just see us as a resource, just to have guide you along the way. You don't need to know what you want to do. I don't think really any of us knew what we wanted to do coming into college, or I didn't even know what I wanted to do going into sophomore year. So just have an idea and just be curious about everything and truly view us as a resource, and feel free to reach out to anybody you have heard talk tonight, and anybody would be happy to discuss anything further with you guys. So with that, you guys can put questions in the chat and we can start to field those.
Hey, great. Thank you, everybody. I think you guys did a great job overviewing that. I know I learned some things myself. I did have a couple of questions that came through already, but if anybody has any other questions, please feel free to send them. So one of the questions was, oh, hold on, my screen moved down. When during sophomore year are interviews for the M&A Society and the Wildcat Fund?
I can answer that for the Wildcat Fund part. So in order to join first semester, we don't have an interview process. So it's open to everyone to join. And then going into the spring semester, we just ask you guys to write a pitch, just so you guys get to focus on a company and do some research on your own. But again, our idea is that everyone gets the opportunity to learn and join the fund. So yeah, definitely look out for that going into your sophomore year, or if you're a sophomore now, feel free to email me and I'll make sure you're added onto the list as we start that process.
Great. Thanks, Caitlin. How about M&A?
And then for the M&A Society, we typically conduct interviews before winter break, with kind of giving you guys a decision after January 1st. But primarily, I know it sounds kind of scary, interviews and all that already, but we're primarily just looking for students that are really interested and passionate and are willing to put in the effort and the work in order to be successful.
Great, thanks. This one's back to you, Caitlin. For the Wildcat Fund, do they apply for a specific sector?
So in the fall of your sophomore year, you'll get to shadow 3 of our sectors. So we take your preferences into account, and then you'll get to shadow hopefully one of your top 3 choices in one of your rotations. And then into the spring, you can apply to a specific sector. So I'll ask you to write a pitch on that sector, and then you can kind of go from there, and you'll hopefully get assigned to your top sector of choice.
Thank you. We have another question. Can you pursue multiple workshops as a freshman?
I can field that one, sorry. So as a freshman, you'll be in the VFG general training. So you will experience all routes. So like Rohan said, we'll have those teach-ins. So that's where either Caitlin and either one of our faculty members or someone to complement it will come in and teach you more about that, what that field, what you do in Wildcat Fund, but also, hey, how do you apply this to the real world? And same thing for M&A and real estate, and also a bunch of other career opportunities. So you'll get access and just exposed to all types of those as a freshman. And then in your sophomore year, you can, any of the 3, so Wildcat Fund, M&A, and real estate, you can do any of those society trainings just to get more acclimated and get a little bit more in-depth information to any of those.
Great, thanks. There's a couple questions about the QR code, and this happened last week too. The one question, the QR code link says that they need permission to access the page. Is there another way to get to the form? And then another question, how do we join the societies that aren't on the Google form like VFG and Swift?
Yeah, so for the non-permission one, it's just you need to go through with your Villanova email. So it's registering that you're not logged in your Villanova email. And then the other 2, just by being at this event, you can be in VFG and we will add you to the email list. And then any woman interested and on this call, we can add you to that list as well. So you guys will start receiving emails from us via that, and just using that sign up link there, you will get VFG emails and Swift emails.
Great, thanks, Andrew. How are you involved in the Real Estate Society freshman year?
I'll take that one. So our events are pretty much open to people of all grades. You can sign up through Handshake. And as you progress and as you get into your junior and senior years, you can apply for leadership roles. But as a freshman, general member, go to as many events as you can and just get a feel for things.
Great. Are students in, I guess, CLAS, but also just outside of VSB, able to join all of the societies?
Yes.
100% yes.
Yes, we have a lot of people actually that are econ majors that are just interested in real estate. So yes.
Okay, so same process, just try to get to that form or reach out to any of you that they might have an interest in joining. And then how would the progression work for a sophomore external transfer student? I don't know if anybody-
So for the Wildcat Fund, at least, we'll put you right into our sophomore training class. So we'll kind of fast track you through that process, and then hopefully field any questions of anything that you may have missed freshman year. But we definitely start pretty much the whole teaching process over again to cover anything that may have been missed last semester. So don't worry about being behind at all. Definitely fill out the form, and we'll make sure we reach out to you as soon as we can.
Not sure if it was for M&A as well too, but kind of similar to what Caitlin said, we'll slot you right into our sophomore first semester training, and then you'll apply at the end of the semester.
Great.
Yeah, for real estate as well, it's the same process. Just go right into the investment academy, and then come the summer and into the fall, you can apply to be in the fund.
Great. Thank you, guys. And just one last question that has come through here. Oh, wait, another one just came up. If they have class during the first 20 minutes of the Steve Schwartzman event, is it okay to join the event Zoom late? I can answer that one. Yes, you can definitely join the Zoom late. And we also, are we recording that? I think we didn't set it up to record because we weren't sure, but it might be.
I think it's recording.
It is going to be recorded?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, so we got permission from him?
We're going to double check Thursday, but I think so.
Okay, so it's possible it might be recorded.
But yeah, 15 minutes is no big deal.
Right, yeah, exactly. And it's even less awkward on Zoom because no one's going to really know that you're coming in. Unlike when you walk into a classroom 15, 20 minutes late, it's a little more noticeable. So yeah, feel free to join when you can. This is a question for me. Will there be a way to rewatch this recording? Yes. It takes usually a day or two for us to get the recording back, and I'll send out a link to everyone who attended this with the link to rewatch the recording. One more question came through. Does studying abroad affect your involvement or role in any of these clubs? That's a good question. Have any of you studied abroad at your time here?
I studied abroad last semester, and it was fine.
Yeah, we definitely try and be as flexible as possible, so no worries at all. And I know a couple people went abroad. What is the Urbino sophomore spring, right? And a couple people did it and were able to stay involved and stay incorporated.
Yeah, Andrew. Me and Henry both did the sophomore spring program in Urbino, and we're both portfolio managers now and pretty active in the Wildcat Fund. So it's not too hard to get involved if you study abroad. It's actually such a fun experience too. So I'd actually encourage you to do so.
Great, thank you. So that is all the questions that came through to me. If anybody else has any quick question, I'll wait another couple seconds just to see if any other questions pop up. But in the meantime, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight, for hanging in with us. Hopefully we did answer a lot of your questions that you had about how the finance societies work here in VSB. As all the leaders told you, feel free to reach out directly to them and they can help you as well if you have any questions after we log off tonight. Thanks to all the leaders for being here, for sharing your evening with us. It was very informative as well. So with that, I don't have any other questions coming through. So again, thank you everybody